as we have already done 9 helminths in the previous video. So let's continue with that topic. So the next helminth that we are going to study is Ankylostomma duodenale. Its another name is, or you can say it is also known as hookworm. Okay, this hookworm, because it has a hook kind of thing at the end, and this hookworm, it is present in the duodenum. That's why the name is Ankylostomma duodenale. And if it's present in the duodenum and it has a hook-like thing at the end, then this hook, or you can say this sharp-pointed end of it, erodes, or you can say scratches the inside of the duodenum, causing bleeding. Okay, so you can write down, in duodenum, it causes chronic bleeding. That is, till the time it will be present over there, it will keep scratching, or you can say it will keep eroding the layers of the duodenum, and the bleeding will continue. Okay, so it will become chronic bleeding. And there's one type of anemia which occurs if you have chronic bleeding. Okay, chronic bleeding is bleeding for a very long time, and this anemia is called as iron deficiency anemia. This anemia is called as iron deficiency anemia. So it will cause iron deficiency anemia. So remember this hookworm, which is Ankylostomma duodenale. The next helminth that you should know is Trypanosoma cruzi. Now, Trypanosoma cruzi, its agent is Triotomberg. So, causative agent of Trypanosoma cruzi is Triotomberg. It is also known as Chagas disease. It is very important. Please remember this name, Chagas disease. And in the question, they will be mentioning you South America. So keyword is South America. Okay, if they mention something related to South America, then they are probably talking about this Trypanosoma cruzi. Okay. The next helminth that you should know is Opisthochoriasis. This Opisthochoriasis, its size will be given in the question, and the size will be 2-digit. For example, or you can say this is its size 30 times 15 millimeter. Okay, 30 into 15 millimeter its size. It will have X with operculum. Now many helminths have their X with operculum. Okay, so this doesn't become a very unique feature for this helminth. So in the question, what else they'll give you? That it is caused by eating raw fish. Okay, and I forgot to tell you when we were doing Diphyllobothrium latum that it is also caused by eating raw fish. So write down. I have told you the name of it is fish tapeworm. Okay, caviar tapeworm. So the causative agent for it is if you eat raw fish. So please write this point down, or add this point in Diphyllobothrium latum. Please write this down. And this Opisthochoriasis, it is also caused by eating raw fish. The next point that you should know is it has the smallest egg among all the helminths. So sometimes they give you the question that which of the following organism has the smallest egg. The answer is Opisthochoriasis. Okay, they give this size as its unique feature. You have to remember the size of the Opisthochoriasis as well as Passiolia hepatica. These two helminths size is very important. Okay, the next helminth that you should know is Dichrosis. This Dichrosis, it has another name, and that is lancet fluke. It is also called as lancet fluke. Okay, Lancet. The next point that you should remember regarding it is that it is caused by Dicrocilium dendriticum. So this is the organism, the Dicrocilium dendriticum, which causes Dichrosialiasis. And this Dicrocilium dendriticum, its another name is lancet fluke, that you should remember. The symptoms that you will see in this is you will have ulcers in shin area. Now shin area is actually your lower leg area. Okay, and there will be ulcers in shin as well as in the foot. You should know this Dicrocilium dendriticum, it lives in cattle or other grazing animal. Grazing animal means the ones who grazes or eats grass. Okay, the next helminth that you should know is about Schistosoma. The name is Schistosoma. First, let's know its reason. It is caused by fresh water contamination. In the question, they'll give you fresh water contamination, so do keep this in mind. Now, Schistosoma, it could be of three types: Schistosoma japonicum, Schistosoma mansoni, Schistosoma hematobium. Okay, so this Schistosoma japonicum and mansoni, they are found in the veins of small. This Schistosoma japonicum and Schistosoma mansoni, they damage the veins of small and large intestine. Okay, whereas this hematobium, it affects veins of urinary bladder. So they will give you a question that the patient has drank the fresh water, and is having problems in the urinary bladder. Okay, some things related to the urinary bladder. At that time, you should think about Schistosoma hematobium. This hematobium one is very important. This is common in Tehran, so in the question they might mention, and they many a time mention also Tehran. Okay, it's common in Tehran. It is a place. It has terminally spined eggs. This can become a feature to confirm your answer. Okay, so remember this terminally spined eggs also. The next organism or helminth which we are going to study is Taenia solium, and make a column and write down Taenia saginata. Okay, so Taenia solium will do first. For Taenia solium, you should know it is also known as cork tapeworm. It has one more name, and that is armed tapeworm. It has 4 ventral suckers. If in the question they mention Schistosoma larva, any time in the question when they are mentioning about the Schistosoma larva, or if they mention only the word Schistosoma, then the answer is Taenia solium for sure. Okay. The next point, you should remember it, that it has 7 to 13 lateral uterine branches. It is a very important point, so please remember the 7 to 13 lateral uterine branches. It is a feature of Taenia solium. And in the question, they'll give you that the person ate pork a few weeks ago. So at that time, you should think about Taenia solium. For Taenia saginata, write down, it is also known as beef tapeworm because it is caused by eating beef. The next is, it is also known as unarmed tapeworm. Taenia solium was armed tapeworm. Taenia saginata is unarmed tapeworm. And very important, it is also called as segmented tapeworm. Now segmented, it is said because it has segments. Suppose this is the worm. So like this, it will have segments in it, okay? And the only segmented helminth is this Taenia saginata as for the Krok exam. So remember, whenever they mention the organism was found and it has segmented body, at that time they are talking about Taenia saginata, okay? The next thing that you should know about is shape. So it is noodle shaped. It is noodle shaped. And lastly, you should know that it has 17 to 35 uterine branches. Taenia solium had 7 to 13. Now, Taenia saginata has 17 to 35 uterine branches. So this is the difference between the two that you should remember, okay? Now, make another distinguishing column because we are going to distinguish 2 more organisms, okay? The first organism is Trikkuryasis. It is the name of the disease, okay? And the next is Trikkuryasis. First, let's do Trikkuryasis in detail. For Trikkuryasis, you must know it is caused by, causative agent is Trichocephalus trichuris. It has another name, that is Trikkuryasis suis. It has another name that is called as whipworm. Now the reason why we call it as whipworm, because it has a wider handle at the end. So it resembles a whip, that's why I given the name whipworm, okay? Which looks like whip. It has one more name, and the name is Trikkuryasis, Trikkura. Remember all these names of this organism, okay? It is very important. The next point that you should know is it infects large intestine and appendix. It has oval eggs with 2 plugs on poles. Let's do trichinosis. The causative agent for trichinosis is Trichinella spiralis. Now write down that this disease has another name, that is trichinellosis. Sometimes it is called as trichinellosis. Okay. The agent is Trichinella spiralis, which is also known as pork worm. Pork tapeworm is Taenia solium, pork tapeworm, but pork worm is Trichinella spiralis. Okay. This pork worm is actually, it is a round worm, and it is caused by eating meat of wild animals. Such a statement will be mentioned into the question that it is caused by eating meat of wild animal, and usually this meat of wild animal means they are talking about pork. Okay. So remember this point. It affects skeletal muscle and causes facial edema. Now this is a very important symptom, this facial edema. Okay, please remember that it affects skeletal muscle and causes facial edema, and it has encysted larva. This is not so important point, but this facial edema and skeletal muscle symptom, it is very, very important. I hope this Helminth part is clear to you. We have completed all the Helminths. So thank you.